And Carolina Panthers closing out the season, 2 games remaining. Both will be on the road, so Bank of America Stadium's next true action, I believe, is the Duke's Mayo Bowl, which is after the first of the year, and some practices in between and whatnot. But really, the action is done when it comes to the NFL for 2024. And the Panthers have Tampa and Atlanta still remaining on the schedule. So the Panthers can be complete spoilers whatsoever. But head coach Dave Canales believes it's got to be part of their brand of football, and he believes the example of Panthers football happened on Sunday.
All right. Panthers football. Don't turn the ball over. We got 2 from them. Cleaned up some of our special teams penalties, but we had some other that kind of happened throughout the course of the game. But we talk about finish, and finding a way to finish, do right longer, and the defense found a way in that overtime, to have a couple of balls knocked down, a sack, some big things right there. And then the offense, of course, just finishing it the way we want to. Being able to run the ball with toughness right there. We're in a great situation for a field goal. And Chuba ends up breaking a few tackles and scoring right there. So it was a great thing to celebrate with the guys, and just to reemphasize, playing football right, doing right longer is the way we finish. And so was really happy about that.
And it's very clear, Dave Canales, and I'm looking right at you. It's very clear, Dave, that you are a master of spin. In the overtime, yes, your defense got big stops. Yes, your multi-million-dollar running back broke a ton of tackles and took you into the promised land. You have spun that wildly. That is Panthers football. But what you have omitted was the fact that your defense gave up 30 up until that point. What you have spun out of the conversation is that while your defense got stops in the run game, the guy that was tearing you the new one, James Conner, was hurt and had 117 yards leading up to that. What you left out was Bryce Young missing on a clean, easy pass right around that 2-minute warning in that fourth quarter, in which you are not thinking about a 30-30 tie. You are thinking about walking that off in regulation. It was an example of Panthers football in the overtime. But leading up to that, I have some concerns. I have some concerns about defense making some stops. Playing the brand of Panthers football, which is run heavy. Run heavy and manage the game through your quarterback, Bryce Young. Run heavy, but you gave up 30. Being a run-heavy football team, and nowhere have you said the word "we need to be balanced." We'll run back the tape for weeks and weeks and weeks. We need to have a balanced attack. I'm not sure if I've ever heard that. A run-controlled offense does not score 30 points. 36 yesterday happened in an overtime. The last time you Panthers pulled a 36, and again, this is me kind of pooping all over a win, but I'm trying not to, but I want to be real because he spun it. And I want to tell you truth. The last time this team scored 36 was in a win against the Raiders in regulation where Andy Dalton was the quarterback. This is not a Bryce Young versus Andy Dalton conversation. I'm not having that one anymore. Bryce Young is your quarterback. But tell complete truth when it comes to your team. It was an example of Panthers football the way you wanted it in the overtime period. Leading up to that, you got a lot of questions. Some decisions were made. You were up 20-3. And at halftime, it was only a 3-point margin. You let Arizona play it around. You played with your food a little bit, and you broke out at the end, which is congratulations to you. But you need to do just a teeny bit better when it comes to execution. Now that I pooped all over the W, Victoria.
It's okay. Sometimes Dave Canales likes to be an optimistic bully.
He
sugarcoats it.
You're right. There's an optimistic bully in Dave Canales. Bryce Young talked about how this team has certainly grown together. 4-game losing streak will do that to you.
I think it's just us coming to our own. Being able to start to establish an identity. Understand what the brand of football that we need to play is. What Coach brought here and. Getting more reps at that, more opportunity, us being able to grow together, to establish that, have that belief within ourselves. I think that, is something that's definitely grown throughout the year and something we have to continue to keep building on.
They will grow together as long as this team can stay healthy. As long as they stay healthy, this team can grow together. Jadeveon Sanders can stay on the field and make plays and be the athletic guy that he is. Adam Thielen can will himself out of every bed, hop into that cryo chamber, cold tub, whatever it takes to be, and be that leading receiver every week. I am happy with that. Jalen Coker can stretch the field. Zay Legette will continue working on that jugs machine and will get a few more touches. By the way, Brad Idzik, jet sweep. Xavier Legette is a bull in a china shop. Let him be the bull in the china shop. I guarantee you employ him like Xavier Worthy in Kansas City, you'll get those similar results. He'll just roll guys over. He won't have any problem doing it. He's a big dude. He can hold on to the football, I promise you. He'll put in the work for you. Everything we were told about Zay Legette should still be true about Zay Legette. He's going to be a guy. He's going to be a horse. He's going to be the dude for you. Get him the ball. Get him some touches. That's all I hit. Because Chuba can't do it all himself. Chuba cannot do it all himself. But I'm nitpicking, right? I'm nitpicking in a 36-30 overtime win. Ends a 4-game losing streak. Paul Ihander in for Adam Gold today. Victoria is here as well. Here's the near guarantee we can have for the Panthers as they close out the season. And this is a good thing, Panthers fans. A very good thing. Here we go. Get myself ready. For the first time in several years, the Carolina Panthers cannot trade away the number 1 pick in the NFL draft.
What?
Because they won't have it.
Right?
They won't have it, and that is a good thing. The New York Giants have the number 1 pick because they are that bad. And the Panthers last year were that bad. And they turned over that pick, and we all know the story. And the Chicago Bears have squandered the gift that the Panthers gave them in the prior regime. Dan Morgan cannot miss on this one. He cannot trade away the first pick in the NFL draft because he doesn't have it. Now, I'm not saying he couldn't acquire it, which is why I say a near guarantee. But currently they have the 7th pick, which means they are not the worst team in the NFL. They are not a bottom dweller by any means. They have 4 victories. And I know there are fans of other fan bases listening to this program right now that are like, you're talking about 4-win football team. A 4-win football team. My team's got 10. My team's got 12. My team's already, they were in the playoffs in September. That's how good we were. I get it. I get all of that. But now put yourself in your friend's shoes, who has been a Panther fan since how long, Victoria?
95.
95.
All the way to 95.
95. You know what the only thing the Panthers fans were looking forward to before this season started? Cam Newton on the Fox television show Special Forces.
Right, with his hats.
With his hats. Mm-hmm. That was the only thing Panthers fans were hanging on to. Now, you can go, we've doubled up our win total from last season. We do not have the number 1 pick in the NFL draft in what is considered not the strongest of NFL drafts. So you're not having that discussion. You're having the talk about we cannot make this mistake again and we cannot find ourselves. The good news is, with a pick that is number 7 and can improve, you still have 2 games remaining. And I say improve in terms of spot. I'm not saying drop down to 3 or 2 or 1. You can't go there. You don't want to be there. You can move yourself into the earlier first round, say 10, say 12, because you still have that opportunity. What this tells you about your football team, what this says loud and clear, is that you have already hit rock bottom. You've been there. You cannot drop any further. You have suffered through the end of ceremonial unend of a bad ending with Steve Wilkes, right? Steve Wilkes thought was going to be the guy, not the guy. Frank Reich. Let's bring in Frank Reich. No. Matt Rule. No. We have Dan Morgan and Dave Canales. And you have already hit rock bottom. You can confidently say that the rock bottom is over. There is nowhere else to go but up. And that should be good news for you as a Carolina Panthers football team. And it gets just a shade better. And again, there are people out there, Victoria, Paul Ihander in for Adam Gold today. There are people out there going, damn, he's talking about a 4-win football team.
Right. Which is double what we had last season. So it's progress.
4-win football team.
It's progress.
And not even the 7-10 of a couple of seasons ago. 7-9, right? Where you were talking about, we might make the playoffs.
Tell you what, I feel better about Dan Morgan, though. I do feel better about him.
How so?
Because
Why?
I like his mentality. I like that he is a football guy, like an actual football guy, not a Madden. I used to play Madden football guy, David Tepper. I think he's an actual football guy. Doesn't hurt that he also is a former Panthers star, but I think his mentality, the way he grinds, he wants to do the ground and pound like we've been doing. I love that. He's got it. He knows where we're going, where we should be.
Double nickels, Dan Morgan.
I know. Just got to make sure the boss man stays out.
Well, listen, someone has to be the buffer.
Yeah?
And credit to him for scooping up Jacoby Windman off the waiver wire, off the practice squad. Jacoby Windman, former UNLV guy, former Michigan State guy. Guy's a baller. I've seen him play in person many times out in the West Coast. He can go. So, Kobe, got you, man. I'm your guy. I believe in you. Hopefully you can stick with this team. But coming back to where the Panthers are right now, there is still a little bit of more good news. You sent Arizona home for the holidays. They're done. There is no postseason for Arizona. You now control the fate of the NFC South. You have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons to close out your season. You can ensure that the NFL, and boy, you get to screw the NFL too, you get to control the fates of both of those teams to leading them right up until the end of the season to figure out if they should be booking their plans for vacation or booking their plans for a home game. That's the bit. That's the bit. And the Carolina Panthers have that control. And that's not a bad place to be because they were not thinking about this last year at all. It was about, well, can we get through it unscathed? And I know we don't have any picks, but let's see what we can do. And you all know the rest of the story. Again, dude's talking about a 4-win football team.
Yeah. It's great, though. We're all smiling.
Today is a day of bringing some joy, right?
We should be happy about this.
Right. I'm not trying to find all the dog poop underneath the leaves that haven't been raked in the park.
You're just staying real.
I'm a real guy.
Right?
I'm a real person. I don't want to lie to you. I tell my kids that. I will never lie to you. I won't even stretch the truth with them. There are some things that I will omit, much like Dave Canales,
Right.
but I will never tell them a lie.